polyester microplastics, they are damaging your brain. There's a big study that came out basically assessing all of the available information out there, which I've already been sharing with you guys. This study shows how textile-derived micro and nanoplastics, how those specifically harm your brain. And it looks like it might even be worse than just regular plastic particles. And I know like nobody sees these videos, but I just like to put this information out there, right? Microplastics are already really bad for you. However, the microplastics that are used in textiles are now even worse because of the additives that they just use and put on clothing. Dermal exposure is a thing, especially in tight-fitting polyester clothing. Heat and sweat, which might happen when you're exercising, that increases your body's absorption of harmful chemicals, but also it loosens the polymer bonds from the polyester and you would then absorb it through your skin. However, ingestion through food is going to be the number one way. Inhalation does show to be a pretty important exposure source as well. And so some of the additives, the finishing additives that are put on textiles are really harmful. I've talked about these before, but they specifically cite engineered nanoparticles. Silver nanoparticles, which are used for like antimicrobial coatings, titanium dioxide and zinc oxide nanoparticles, those are put on clothing for a UV resistant finish. So this is titanium dioxide nanoparticles, which are what the coating in ceramic nonstick pans are. These nanoparticles have been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier, disrupt tight junctions, and trigger neuronal apoptosis, with toxicity enhanced in combination with the micro nanoplastics. Similarly, titanium dioxide and zinc oxide nanoparticles, which are used extensively in sportswear and sun protective clothing, have been linked to oxidative stress, cognitive impairment, and hippocampal damage in rodents. Textile dyes also pose significant risks. An in vivo study showed that aniline blue, a common synthetic dye, induced dose-dependent neurobehavioral impairments in zebrafish, such as memory loss, anxiety-like behavior, and oxidative stress. Overall, these findings highlight the complex chemical burden associated with textile microfibers. Additives are not inert bystanders. They can modify microplastic behavior, facilitate barrier crossing, and potentiate neurotoxic effects via oxidative stress, inflammatory signaling, and blood-brain barrier disruption. And then of course there's this table, which is all of the different kind of textile microplastics, right? And how they hurt your brain and lead to Parkinson's, cognitive decline, and Alzheimer's. You want to try and wear cotton and natural materials as much as you can. Don't wear plastic clothes. And also try and eliminate the amount of plastic you have in your home, right? That's why I talk about like your PVC shower curtain or carpets, right? And just covering like the most heavily trafficked areas of your carpet, just covering that with a natural fiber rug. That's going to go a really long way towards just reducing the amount of microplastics that come off, get into the dust, and ultimately you end up ingesting because they are definitely hurting your brain. That's definitely happening here.